It's the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Welcome to yet another special edition of the SWAC Zone. It has taken a while, but the dust has finally settled. We have the guru himself to sort out all this madness that was into the madness that lies ahead in the SWAC basketball tournament beginning March 8th through the 11th. So we will present the song and introduce the others, none other than Coach Van Pettaway. How you doing today, Coach?
Doc, I'm doing fantastic. This is another great day that he's given all of us, and I'm looking forward to the rest of this day and that SWAC tournament. I think it's going to be fantastic.
Oh, my goodness, yes, indeed. Now, it took us a little, as they say, siphoning, or siphoning, I should say, to get all the clumps out, but we finally got a smooth path now, in particular on that women's side. So I'm ready for you to coach the latest thing out and kind of look toward the future here with the tournament coming up.
Right. Well, it was a big Saturday, probably one of the biggest that's been there for a while, and there were a lot of games that would decide seeding, and boy, did it come down to the last game. Well, we're going to start out down at Itta Bena, Mississippi, where the number one seed, Jackson State, they showed their dominance again. They beat Mississippi Valley 84-65. Down in Louisiana at Grambling. Grambling played host to Alabama State. They won that game 62-60. And then on to Arkansas Pine Bluff. Arkansas Pine Bluff hosted Alcorn State. Alcorn State won that game 74-66. And then the big Florida matchup in the Orange State, Bethune-Cookman played host to Florida A&M, and Bethune-Cookman won that game 80-69. And then for my Bulldogs, they had to travel down to Baton Rouge, where they played Southern. Southern beat my Lady Bulldogs 66-53. And then the big Texas two-step, your Lady Panthers against Texas Southern, and they wanted to know who is your daddy. Your Prairie View, your ladies beat them 65-57.
Or maybe who's your mama? Who's your mama?
Yeah. and so, Doc, Saturday's matchups and the results of those games led us to a wow finish on the women's side. Jackson State is the number one seed, and they were stepping in there at 17-1. They only lost that one game to guess who? Your Prairie View Panthers.
Yes, sir.
And then, of course, you got a log jam. Alabama State, Southern, Prairie View, Alabama A&M all finished at 12-6. Mm-hmm. And then Arkansas Pine Bluff came in at 10-8, along with Bethune-Cookman also at 10-8, and Grambling finished the season at 9-9. And the three Alcorn State 8-10, Florida A&M 4-14, Texas Southern 2-16. And what that did, that brought us to the SWAC tournament and the seeding. And it went like this. Without a doubt, Jackson State was number one. But after all of the tie-breaking scenarios, Alabama A&M ended up the number 2 seed. And therefore, that left Alabama State as the number 3 seed going into the tournament. Southern is the 4 seed. Your Lady Panthers are the 5th seed. Bethune-Cookman is the 6th seed. And then Arkansas Pine Bluff is the 7th seed. And the last team to make it in was Grambling. And so on the SWAC tournament, it looks like this. Number 1, Jackson State will take on Grambling. That game will be on March the 8th. And then Alabama A&M, also on March the 8th, will take on Arkansas Pine Bluff. And then you're going to have Southern versus Prairie View. And then Alabama State versus Bethune-Cookman. So those are the matchups on the women's side. The tournament kicks off tomorrow at 11 a.m. with Alabama A&M taking on Arkansas Pine Bluff. And then that game will be followed by Jackson State taking on Grambling. Those games are Wednesday. And then, of course, on Thursday, Alabama State will play the first game at 11 a.m. against Bethune-Cookman, and then Southern will play Prairie View at 5:30 on Thursday. So that's the matchup, and we are looking forward to a great tournament. I think the teams are ready, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be an exciting week.
I think so as well, Coach. Now, we got the seedings. We know that the queen of the bunch is Jackson State. Who do you see? Potentially all of them can get hot, but who do you see coming in with the most momentum other than Jackson State on the women's side?
Well, when you look at it, the only team, Southern has won 2 in a row. That's the only team on the women's side that has a lot of momentum. But this is what I'm looking at. Your Prairie View Panthers are on the same bracket with Jackson State. Your Lady Panthers are the only school that figured out how to beat them. So if they both advance to the semifinals, Jackson State better look out. They better look out.
I hope so. I was hoping they would have ended up on the opposite bracket, but it is what it is. And if you got to be the best, you got to go through the best, right?
That's right. And so, see, when you start talking about momentum, Jackson State has won 14 in a row, and then the only other team that's on a winning streak going into the tournament is Southern with 2 in a row. So they took care of both of the Alabama teams, and that's it. Everybody else lost their last regular season game. So these coaches are going to have a big task at letting these kids know that, hey, that's over with. Season 2 starts. Everybody has the same record. Let's go get it.
Let's go get it, and it shall be done. And the exciting part about it is beginning at 11 a.m., you can listen to every dribble right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And with that being said, let us transition to this men's bracket, which is not as complicated, at least at the top, kind of in that final 6, 7, 8 spots, but it's all sorted out now.
Yes, it is. All right, and we'll start down in Ittabena, Mississippi, where Mississippi Valley played host to Jackson State. Jackson State, my surprise team, came up and won that game 68-60. Down at Grambling, Grambling played host to Alabama State, and they put a sound whipping on them. They won that game 69-49. And then at Arkansas Pine Bluff, they hosted Alcorn State. Alcorn State came in and won that game 63-58. And in the matchup of in the Sunshine State, Bethune-Cookman played host to Florida A&M, and they won that game 91-70. And then in down in Baton Rouge, Southern played host to my Bulldogs. My Bulldogs won for the second time. They beat them 68-65. And then in the Texas two-step, the big battle of the Lone Star State, your Prairie View Panthers. Now, they're the ones that said, who's your daddy? And
yes, sir.
Texas Southern, 78-74.
Yes, sir.
I mean, conference game, rival, no better way to end the season.
No better way to end the season, and it was an electric atmosphere, and it was a lot of fun to be a participant in. And with that, of course, both Texas Southern and Prairie View, I'm going to say not limp, but kind of stumbled into the tournament. And I think, in the case of my Panthers, even though they're going to play against Southern, and I hate that in the event that Woods and his group falls short, that might be the last that we see Coach Woods on the sideline for the Jags, man.
I know that's the rumor that's out there. So you know, as a coach, you know, you hate to hear that, but I was told when I first got in it, you get into coaching to get fired. You will eventually get fired. That's what I was told when I first started. So
wow,
that is tough. That is tough. But he still got another chance. This is season number 2. And with all that action on Saturday, it led us to this. Grambling State and Alcorn State finished at 15-3 apiece. Grambling State is on a 9-game winning streak. Alcorn State is on a 3-game winning streak. Jackson State, the team that nobody picked to do anything this year, finished third, and they are on a 4-game winning streak. Southern finished fourth, and Alabama A&M fifth at 10-8. Southern is at 11-7. Jackson State is at 12-6. Your Panthers finished at 9-9. Bethune-Cookman is at 8-10. And Texas Southern finished at 7-7 and 11. And Arkansas Pine Bluff 6-12. Alabama State 6-12. Florida A&M 5-13. So now what this did. And Mississippi Valley finished 4-14. So for seeding purposes, Alcorn State is the number 1 seed. And then, of course, that means that Grambling is the number 2 seed. We're looking forward to those 1 and 2, I think, will meet in the championship game. And then Jackson State is the 3rd seed. On the 4th seed would be Southern. The 5th seed would be Alabama A&M. And I tell you what, this is going to be a great tournament, and it kicks off on March the 8th, which is tomorrow. You're going to have, in that first game, you're going to have, where are my notes here? I'm sorry. Game 1 would be Grambling and Bethune-Cookman. That'll be the first matchup on March the 8th. And then Alcorn State will take on Texas Southern on Wednesday. So that's the late game. And then, of course, on Thursday, you're going to have Jackson State against your Prairie View Panthers. And then you're going to have Alabama A&M playing Southern. And the way this thing has worked out, Alcorn State and Texas Southern, 79-74 in overtime in Texas. And then down in Mississippi, it was 89-81. My Bulldogs swept Southern, and it's going to be hard to beat a team 3 times. They won in Huntsville 82-61. They beat them down in Baton Rouge at 68-65. Now, the thing for Jackson State and Prairie View now, your Panthers split with them.
Right.
Your Panthers split with them. So the dark horse to me, because of the way they're playing, is Jackson State. I think they better look out for Jackson State.
Okay.
They better look out for Jackson State because they've won, they're on a 4-game winning streak. They have proven that they've been a formidable team all year. And it's just going to be interesting because your top 3 teams that went into the tournament have all winning streaks, a 9-game, a 3-game winning streak, and 4-game winning streak. So Grambling, Alcorn, Jackson, they have proven that they're the cream of the crop.
Well, I tell you, even though Alcorn is proven, I'm looking at the last maybe 5 to 6 games that they played.
Yep.
Yeah. That first round against Texas Southern is not a give-me.
Oh, yeah.
And we talked about this earlier in the season, Coach. Who wants to see a Prairie View or Texas Southern coming in at a 7 or 8 seed right now? And now it's to fruition. And I would not be surprised, even though Alcorn on paper and proven, should win, but it would not surprise me that if the game is an upset by Texas Southern or at least go into overtime. That's just the way I'm seeing this right now. It's going to be very interesting, though, very interesting.
Right. I predicted that their game Saturday would be closer than most people expected. And
yes,
I felt like because Arkansas Pine Bluff, I thought they had an outside chance at making the tournament, and I just figured with it being their last game that they would be ready to play, and I think that's why that game was so close. So you're absolutely correct. Alcorn is not showing its dominance going down the stretch. They're limping into the tournament.
Yes, sir. So we're hoping that all prevails for your beloved Bulldogs. and my beloved Panthers. But you know what? Just a solid competition from A to Z throughout this tournament that is scheduled. And we are so excited and so fired up. I know you ready to go, Coach. And everybody is want to be in tune and in action. I just want to remind you that if you want to participate in listening to these broadcasts on the Southwestern Athletic Conference Basketball Tournament, you can listen to every game right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network at obnradio.com, or you can dial the number on the go at 857-777-0000. Coach, I know you got your bags packed and you're ready to go. Look, you have some safe travels, my friend, and we're looking forward to the broadcast of the rest of the week. And anything you need to add before we sign out of here, sir?
Well, no, I just want to thank. Yeah, I want to thank you for the great job that you've done all year. You are a true SWACer. You look out for the SWAC, and I think that's very good. And I think it's long overdue. And I would just want to continue to encourage you to do what you do because you have your assignment.
Yes, sir. I might have to get me some SWACer crackers then. Huh? See if I can make me a deal, get some SWACer crackers, the SWAC crack, the cracker of the SWAC. Well, Coach, I appreciate you so much. He is the guru, Coach Van Pettaway. You remember, you can listen to Lee Hall, Joshua Davis, and Norleski Wiry from sun up to sundown right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget, it all starts on Wednesday, March the 8th, 11 a.m., first tip, until the last shot is shot. And until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.